The smoke cleared slowly across the ruined plaza, revealing broken pillars and scorched earth where a marketplace had stood only hours before. Marcus Hayes crouched behind a collapsed transport vehicle, checking the energy cell on his rifle, while explosions thundered in the distance. The Terran Coalition had warned him against coming to Velos Prime. But the message had been clear. Someone needed extraction, and they were willing to pay triple the standard rate. He had not expected a war zone. The planet had descended into chaos 3 months prior, when the ruling family fractured into competing factions. What began as political maneuvering escalated into open warfare, and now the great cities lay in ruins. Most off-worlders had evacuated during the first week. Marcus specialized in the difficult cases, the people left behind when standard channels failed. His comm device crackled. The coordinates remained unchanged, transmitted from somewhere deeper in the combat zone. Marcus moved through the rubble with practiced efficiency, his boots crunching on broken glass and shattered stone. Automated defenses had been destroyed days ago, leaving only scattered patrols and desperate fighters. He avoided them all. The safe house appeared abandoned from the outside, its walls pockmarked with weapons fire. Marcus approached carefully, scanning for traps or ambushes. The door hung askew on broken hinges. Inside, dim emergency lighting cast long shadows across ransacked rooms. Furniture lay overturned, and documentation had been scattered across the floor in someone's frantic search. "You are late," a voice called from the darkness. Marcus raised his weapon, finger resting near the trigger. A figure emerged from a side room, hands raised to show they held no weapon. In the faint light, he saw her clearly, tall and slender, with the characteristic silver-blue skin of Velos nobility. Her elaborate garments, though torn and stained, still bore the intricate patterns that marked royal blood. Dark eyes met his with unexpected intensity. "Princess Nerra," Marcus said, lowering his rifle slightly. The briefing had mentioned her name, but little else. "Your family paid for extraction. We need to move now." She stepped closer, and he noticed the exhaustion in her features, the way she favored her left side, where dried blood stained her clothing. "They paid for my release from this tomb," she said quietly. "But I cannot return to them." Marcus frowned. "The contract specifies delivery to the Coalition Embassy Station. Your family arranged everything. My family is the reason this world burns." Her voice carried bitter weight. "My uncle claims the throne. My cousin raises armies against him. My own brother leads the faction that destroyed the northern provinces. They fight over power while millions suffer and die." He checked his chronometer. "I sympathize, but we have a 15-minute window before the next patrol sweep. If we miss it, we're stuck here for 6 hours minimum." Nerra moved to the shattered window, gazing out at the burning city. "For 2 months I hid here, watching my people destroyed by the ambitions of those who should protect them. The Coalition will send me back. They will use me as a bargaining piece, leverage in negotiations they do not understand." Marcus felt the familiar frustration of a mission becoming complicated. "Princess, I was hired to extract you. Where you go after, that is not my concern." "You are human," she said, turning back to face him. "I have studied your species. You fight when others surrender. You adapt when others fail. Your people crossed the void between stars in primitive vessels, while we still debated whether such journeys were possible. You do not accept impossible situations. Flattering, but still not my problem." She crossed the room swiftly despite her injury, standing close enough that he could see the flecks of darker blue in her eyes. "You paid for my release with your skills and your risk. The currency was your courage, not the credits my family transferred. Now I ask you to take me somewhere they cannot find me. Somewhere I can be useful instead of being a symbol in their endless game." Marcus studied her face, searching for deception or manipulation. He found only determination, and something that looked like hope struggling against despair. Taking you anywhere except the embassy violates the contract. I could lose my license, face legal action, maybe worse. Yes, Nerra agreed. But you will do it anyway, because you are human, and humans do not abandon those in need when they can help. He almost laughed. You have a strange idea about my species. We're not all heroes from the stories. No, she said softly. But you came here when others refused. You crossed a war zone for someone you never met. You risk your life for strangers, because it is the right thing to do. I see it in how you move, how you check corners, not just for your safety, but for mine. You are exactly who the stories describe. The building shuddered as something exploded several blocks away. Dust drifted down from the damaged ceiling. Marcus made a decision he knew he would probably regret. If we do this, we do it my way. No arguments, no debates. You follow orders until we're clear. Nerra nodded. I understand. And you're wrong about humans. We're not special. We just tend to be too stubborn to quit when we should. She almost smiled. Then I am fortunate your stubbornness brought you here. They moved through the city like ghosts, avoiding the main thoroughfares where fighting continued. Marcus guided them through service tunnels and abandoned buildings, using routes he had scouted during his approach. Nerra kept pace despite her injury, never complaining or slowing. He began to understand why she had survived 2 months in these conditions, not at the spaceport's edge. They encountered their first serious obstacle. A patrol of 6 fighters guarded the entrance to the commercial hangars. Marcus counted their weapons and positions, calculating angles and timing. His ship waited 300 meters beyond them, hidden in a maintenance bay he had secured 2 days prior. Can we go around? Nerra whispered. Not without adding 40 minutes. The patrols overlap at the alternate routes. She looked at the guards, then back at him. You could leave me here. Take your ship and claim I was already dead when you arrived. No one could prove otherwise. Marcus checked his rifle's charge. That's not how this works. I am asking you to save yourself. And I'm telling you to stay quiet while I work. He used the smoke grenades first, creating confusion and forcing the patrol to regroup. While they clustered together, calling for backup, Marcus and Nerra sprinted across the open ground. Weapons fire erupted behind them, but the smoke obscured their pursuers' aim. They reached the maintenance bay as alerts began wailing across the facility. His ship, a compact courier vessel named the Vagrant Star, hummed to life at his command. Marcus strapped into the pilot's seat, while Nerra secured herself in the co-pilot position. The engines roared, and he guided the ship through the bay doors, just as the patrol arrived. The Vagrant Star climbed rapidly, shaking from weapons fire, but holding together. Marcus pushed the engines hard, angling for the atmosphere's edge. Behind them, 2 patrol craft launched in pursuit, but they were designed for planetary operations. Once the Vagrant Star reached orbital space, Marcus engaged the jump drive, and the pursuing ships fell away as reality bent around them. In the silence that followed, Nerra finally spoke. Where are we going? Marcus stared at the swirling colors of jump space. Frontier Station Delta 7. It's technically Coalition space, but nobody asks questions. You can disappear there, find work, build a new life. And you? What happens when they discover you broke the contract? He shrugged. I'll figure something out. Always do. She studied him for a long moment. You really are as stubborn as I said. Probably more so. I can never go home, Nerra said quietly. Everything I knew is gone. My title means nothing now. I have no family, no resources, no future, except what I make. Marcus glanced at her. Welcome to the frontier. Half the people out here have similar stories. The difference is what you do with the fresh start. What will you do? They will hunt you for this. He smiled slightly. I'll keep doing what I do. Someone always needs extraction, and I'm good at impossible situations. Because you are human. Because I'm too stubborn to quit. Nerra looked out at the shifting colors of jump space, her reflection ghostly in the viewport. My people have a saying, those who survive the storm become the storm. I think I am beginning to understand what it means. Just remember that being a storm doesn't mean you have to destroy everything, Marcus said. Sometimes it means clearing away what needs to go so something better can grow. She nodded slowly. Perhaps that is the lesson I needed to learn. The vagrant star sailed through jump space, carrying them both toward an uncertain future. Behind them, a world burned in civil war. Ahead, the frontier waited with all its dangers and possibilities. Marcus did not know what would come next, but he had made his choice. Sometimes being human meant doing the difficult things simply because it was right. And sometimes, in the darkness between stars, that was enough.